I think I turned the damn thing on. So you were talking about really enjoying adult board games in the bedroom?
Adult board game. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Actually, you know what? My best friend did buy me a an adult board game, and I
What?
never played it. I never played it. Yeah, my best friend bought it.
Uh huh.
I don't know why. I think she just thought it'd be really funny, and that's something that she could bring up all the time. Like, oh, have you played that? Have you played that game? It was called Monogamy.
Monogamy. That doesn't
Called
sound like a very
Monogamy.
fun game.
I know, right? I
I
know.
mean, if you're gonna make a game, at least like live a fantasy world. Monogamy.
Yeah, Spicy Affair or something like that. But no, it was called Monogamy. And
Was it like the game of life? That's what I'm picturing. Actually, I'm picturing a shitty Monopoly game that's game of life inspired.
uh, no, it was definitely sexual. Like there were parts. I remember. I think the first time that I picked this thing up, like as in unboxed it and like looked at some of the components, there was like a card that said something about licking from the balls to the back or something like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
That's
I was like,
pretty
what?
hardcore.
It's
That's
pretty
pretty
hardcore.
hardcore.
Like the very first thing I picked up, and I was like, whoa, okay. But I think a
That's
couple
pretty.
of times because I just had it, like I had it around, and I remember like having a game day at my house, and people were messing with it, and they were like laughing at it and everything, and I'm like, I got to get rid of this thing. I'm never gonna play it, and yeah, so I did eventually get rid of it. I don't
Um,
know. That's just not sexy to me, like bringing out cardboard. If you have to bring out cardboard in the bedroom, I think I don't know, something's gone bad there.
okay, so I remember there's like a real basic one that's like two dice. Like one is like a
Yeah,
verb,
yeah,
and the other one is like a part of the body. So it'd be like lick
yeah,
ass or whatever.
yeah.
Um, and there were two different colored dice. I mean, they were both like white dice, but the words were like one was red and one was blue. I remember there
Right.
was one of those, and I remember
What difference does the color make?
I don't know. So I guess when they're making them, they don't put in just like you roll ass. So you got to have a verb in there.
You just keep imagine that. You don't like doing R stuff and then you just keep getting R stuff and it's like, come on.
Why do I keep getting the ass stuff?
Yeah.
It's dumb luck.
Oh,
It's supposed to be one in six, but I keep freaking getting the robber and then robbing ass.
Ask Bandit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um.
those like storytelling dice, right? They're similar
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of.
Packet
Yeah.
dice, that's all it is. You
The
just
other thing was like, okay, so when you had it like if you go to somebody's house and you see that like in their collection, like let's say you see a couple and they don't play games, they have like Monopoly and then they have a couple of sex things, you know that those never got played. You automatically know that the sex games didn't get played, and if they got played they got bored with it really quick and they just put it up and just watched the movie or did their
yeah.
thing or whatever. It
Or
was not,
or they're swingers because they're out there like
I don't know
check it
if
out.
you're
We can play this dice game.
if you're swingers, I think you're busy swinging. You're not screwing around with cardboard.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that if you're into the swinging scene, you probably are the type of person that doesn't really need to roll dice to do something
Right, you just get to licking
overly.
wherever. You don't need dice to
Get
anywhere.
straight to the Lincoln. That's
Unless you're let's say you're a shy person and you're with your couple and you like cheat, like you act like you're rolling the dice but you want them to do something specifically. So you just like
yeah, and when they're not looking, you like put it on the face. You put it on the face that you want.
yeah. Uh-oh,
Yeah.
my feed's doing something weird. Hold on. There we go. Fixed it.
Okay.
My um, what we call it feed, Twitch feed. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you would cheat it. You would like,
Yeah.
why is it always licking? Why do I always have to lick that one part? You're always rolling that part. I'm like, I don't know.
It's just the
I'm
dice, babe.
lucky.
Yeah.
The I remember. Okay, so there's a band. I think I'm not sure. There's an American band. I think they're American. They're called Titty Bingo.
Right.
I think it has some. I think there is a game called Titty Bingo as well. where
I
you're
know
trying to
that's
match breast and like
trying to
bingo
match
thing.
them up.
That's what I assume.
No, it's just
Uh,
bingo, and you have a sheet that has the different titties on it. Is that what you're
oh,
saying?
really?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. What is titty bingo? Is it like a like
I
bingo and
assume you're
you've
just trying to match. You're trying to match
yeah,
boobs.
trying to get all the but you're not trying to match it. You're just trying to get
Oh yeah, you're just trying to be
someone
lucky
pulls
and
out
right.
a boob and you're like, I have that one. I have that boob on my sheet,
Well,
and then you're
yeah,
trying
you'd
to do
get a
them all.
bunch of old people together, and then you would like show the boob, and you would just like you show the boob, and you say B, and then you pull up the boob and you show it, and then everyone is like squinting, trying trying to see if they got that boob.
Hopefully not squinting. I'd hate
Well,
to
you're
have the
old, you
size
got to
of boob
squint.
that people have to squint. Okay, so yeah, there is a band called Titty Bingo, and it's from Austin, Texas, so that makes sense. The reason why.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I remember seeing decals. Like this one dude had Titty Bingo sticker on there, and then another one that was has nothing to do with games, which is liquor in the front, poker in the rear. I guess it has to do with poker, but yeah, whatever.
Is this like a
That's
novelty band?
it. Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. You know, like we were talking kind of about, like we've talked about this, and I know how much you love Weird Al Yankovic, but like,
Yeah, my
um,
favorite.
I actually remembered that there was an Australian band who had like a mix of serious songs and also like novelty songs that actually did a pretty good job. I actually like these guys in the 90s. In the
Of
90s, I like.
what did they sing about? What was their subject?
Oh, like they had a song called Black Bugs, and it was about it was
Squishing
about
black
not
bugs.
being no, like black bugs were the baddies in a video game, and they were like addicted to it, and they couldn't go to sleep because they couldn't save the game, and so they just like keep playing it and keep dying. He's like, I keep dying and dying it over again, but I need to see the end, and then he's like, can't go to sleep because of
Obviously,
that.
they have a Grammy or two for this. You'll
I
have
need
to
to
send
send
me
you
some
the
music.
song. I will
Yeah,
send it to you because, like, I thought I was the kind of person that was like, I don't like songs that are like that. I like, you know.
and you found out you're a
And then I
Weird
found
Al
out I
Yankovic fan,
gave
and it's all good. Yep, it's okay.
yeah.
We'll judge you. That's fine.
I'll send you a song and you can judge me. But they had a bunch of other stuff as well that wasn't dumb and funny. But I don't know. So you're telling me you've never liked a band that has that kind of stuff going
I
on?
can't say never. Never's too long. So, not that I can recall, and I would assume that like my brain would like try to put
Yeah, blanket
barriers
that out.
between me
Yeah, yeah,
that between me and that. Just
yeah.
try to. You're cool, Mo. I promise you, you're cool. You're cool. Don't you
Like,
did never
like
did
I
anything
did
like
until
this.
I
Yeah.
like I did until I remembered, and I was like, oh shit. Oh,
So
that's funny.
anyway, so off of the thing we were talking about having board games in your bedroom before we went into the naughty place. So
Right.
we did the naughty stuff
I
first, so you don't have to go back there. So
we're going back there now.
board games in the bedroom. You
Games
think
in the
it's a no
bedroom.
no?
I think it's a no-no. I have board games in my bedroom right now, and I'm thinking I'm going to sell them
Why
because
is it sad?
I don't want them there. Why
Why
is
is
it
it sad
sad?
that they're in your bedroom?
I don't know. I think I just have like this personal rule that I think board games and TVs and video games, all that stuff shouldn't be in a bedroom.
Bedrooms are for sleeping.
Bedrooms are for sleep. I mean, yeah, bedrooms are for sleeping, and also like there's that whole thing of like, um, you know, couples that have TVs in their bedroom have like significantly less sex, and they don't. That like ruins their sex life because they
I
just
think
end up.
that's an excuse though. Like, um, you can have hours where you don't watch the TV. You can say, okay, between this time and this time, the TV doesn't is not used. Like the problem
Are you
with that,
scheduling your intimate time then if you do that?
no, you're
Because
scheduling the time that it can happen, but not like abroad. It's like I'll be there between 5 and 10, kind of a deal. Not I'll be there at 7:35 on the dot. Like I hate scheduling like that, but like a broad sense of because like okay, so for me, I hate family rooms. Like
right.
the idea that you
What is
have a
that?
room
We don't have enough rooms in Australia to have a family room. What is
A
that?
family room, living room,
Oh, living room. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, the modern living room where everybody congregates and watches TV together. Like, there's not enough personal. Like, I'm not necessarily going to watch porn with everybody, or I'm not,
Why not? It's a totally normal thing to do.
yeah, like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, certain
Right.
instances you don't want young kids coming over or whatever and seeing that, and then
True.
I don't know. There's just some programs that are not suitable for kids, and I think a lot of people have forgotten that, kids aren't supposed to see so many murders and all this crazy shit. So that's the family room is part of that. I
Yeah,
need
okay. So you're saying you need to like go watch Game of Thrones in your bedroom.
in a
So it's
bathroom
not
with a phone and nobody else coming in.
lock the door.
Lock the door. I'm busy. I'm busy. Damn it. He's
Uh,
watching Game of Thrones again.
First season only. After that, it's fine. No, but yeah, I think that that's kind of a weird thing too, because I remember when I was growing up, um, like some movies were so overtly sexual, but as a kid, you're just not looking out for that, so you don't even realize it. I mean, I'm not talking about Game of Thrones because that was
That was
definitely
full on, man.
a lot. Like there was so much gore and stuff like that that you wouldn't want kids to see. So that makes sense. But I mean, you can always watch that stuff when the kids have gone to bed. So
So now we're scheduling my intimate time with Game of Thrones.
yeah, now we're scheduling
Yeah,
that.
see, that's why I'm like, I agree with you as a single person. Yes, 100%. No TV in your bedroom. No, like, bedrooms for sleeping. And I agree with that. But when you have a family, I see it differently because of the adult content. And then when everybody's past a certain age, well, maybe then it's different. But that's just my own personal view, just because less about sex and more about, like, I watch some very violent things and don't think about it, or watch things about like where drug use is okay, or whatever. And for me, it's nothing. I'm not like
Yeah. I don't
I'm
know. The thing is like,
desensitized.
yeah. The thing is we're creatures of habit though, and I know couples that essentially their routine is that they watch TV together in bed
So are you saying
before
they
they
should become swingers? That'll fix everything.
No, I'm just saying that like I don't know. That's their bedtime routine every night is to do that, and then that's what they end up doing. That's all they end up doing.
Well, okay, so like
So,
right now they're okay.
ruined sex
Before
life.
today, okay, so before today, let's say for the last 2 years, that probably wasn't a problem. But when you have something as high caliber as Game of Thrones, well, I can see how that can challenge sex. So it's about the quality of the show, not
It is. It is.
or the lack of quality of your sex life. Either one.
Right.
But it'd
Yeah.
be pretty hard to beat Game of Thrones consistently every Sunday.
So maybe they had a lull when Game of Thrones was on, and now, it's
Yeah.
picked up.
Or
Now,
what if it encouraged things? So they could have like,
maybe.
and now they're hoping to get encouraged, but the shows aren't good enough, so they're just watching TV full on instead of.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But I know that like storing board games in your bedroom shouldn't be such a big thing. But it also it's like what are you going to do? I'm going to have people come over and we're going to choose a game and I'm going to say, "Oh, here's some here." And then also if those are no good, I've got a collection in my bedroom. Come check these out. It's weird.
You're not as nerdy as you should be, because what you would do is say, "Look on my BGG collection. Pick a game from there. I'll find
Game.
it."
I'll have it ready. I'll have it
Yeah, or
set up.
look in the notes, and it'll give you a code, and tell me the code, and I'll know where it's at.
Like the Dewey Decimal Systems. We've
Yeah,
got
but
so many.
for your house, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then you would know where your board game bedroom stuff is at, and then no one would have to come and see. They wouldn't see your titty bingo hidden away in in your bedroom.
Diddy Bingo. Best game ever.
Yeah, band not so much.
So
No,
speaking of BGG, oh no, what were you
okay.
going to say?
No,
I
no,
don't
you
know.
no, you had some BGG stuff. Go ahead. Let's see.
I
Let's.
saw something on BGG that surprised me. because I had the Arc Nova review go up on Tabletop Sauce, I
Okay.
was on the Arc Nova thing, and I saw
Okay.
that the weight rating was 3.71, and the
Horseshit.
cost is 3.54.
Right.
And I'm like, huh? How can Arc Nova be 3.71? I just find that weird.
I can. I've got some vague ideas. Like
Tell me.
one, it's the overhead rules. It is you have a lot to learn at once, and if you only play board games once or twice, it's a lot to learn.
But the
Two,
cost is the same. Cost is the same. It's a lot to learn up front. It takes me ages to teach over that game.
true, but it's because there's a lot of new things versus
Yeah.
cards that change the rules. Like Arc Nova changes the rules on itself constantly, and so that's kind of hard to classify it in a weight because it changes its own rules all the time. But the other thing is, if you
Mm,
sell a game to a bunch of average gamers or gamers that are used to lighter games, there is
yeah.
that reaction to this is way heavier than I'm used to, so they give it a four. And then
Oh,
yeah, a
yeah.
bunch of new gamers are going to look at it and say, well, this is suggested to me as a hot game, and it's way harder than anything I've ever played. It's a four, boom, and then so now you're adjusting that way. It's like when you look at a lot of the war games that are way heavier than their equivalent in Euro games is because they're all war gamers playing it, and so
Yeah.
they're telling each other this isn't a four war game, this is a 3.5,
Yeah.
and then
Because they're
like
like,
we're over there melting our brains trying to learn it, having to use
yeah.
like sub game like what does GMT do? They do this little player game. They don't even teach you the rules. They give you a book on how to play through a scenario,
It's
basically an
longer than
example.
the
Yeah,
rule book.
it's longer than the
Yeah.
rule book because the rule book's really simple. It's like 5 or 6 pages, and it's like 1.1. This is possible. 1.2. I mean 1.1. This 2.2. This, but it doesn't tell
Yeah.
you how to play the game. It just says here's a stack of rules. Here's the playbook. Play the game through the playbook, and then you can reference the rules.
Yep. You know you're in trouble when you got like 1.1A, 1.2A,
That's the way
and B.
rules used to be done. It was. Do you remember that, or were you around when like that was
I
the
wasn't
shit?
playing those kind of games then.
Uh, like
So,
Avalon Hill games. Well, okay, so
yeah.
the first game me and Brian were designing and stuff, he did the rules for it. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna trust you just to do the rules. I'm not gonna fuck with them. We got down all the rules. He wrote them down. I came one day and he said, "Here are the rules." And it was this old Avalon Hill 1.1.1, 1.1.2, and they were like so hard to understand because we had just
Yeah.
gotten to the big Euro craze at the time, and so we were used to a visual aid like what you got with El Grande or whatever. It was a visual thing.
Yeah.
My current favorite rule sets are done by Queen Games, and nobody else likes them except for me that I
Really?
know.
You're the
Yeah,
only one.
yeah, because they
Maybe
have a
you.
picture of everything that they do, and they have
Yeah.
some really simple paragraph rules on the side. And yes, some of the rules are in the examples, but they're
Yeah.
so visual. Since I'm a visual learner, it's so easy.
Yeah. Right.
I can just point to the picture and say, "We got to do that."
Yeah. And so that's like the opposite of me, because we've talked about this before. I just ignore the examples because I'm like, why is there a picture here? I just want the rules. I just need the words.
Yeah, smarty
Skip.
pants.
I
Well,
don't
I
think
can.
it's I don't think it's smart. I don't think
I
it's
yeah, it's probably not very smart to
it's
skip the
not. It's
pictures.
not.
They put them there
Words
for a
don't
reason.
actually sink in that well, really. You've got to like if you read a rule book, you got to play that game that night. Otherwise, forget it. You can't read a 24-page booklet and then 2 weeks later play it. You've
See,
missed your window.
with the Queen Game rulebooks, I can pick up a Queen Game rulebook and look at the pictures and go, "Oh yeah, I remember how to play this."
Yeah. But granted, Queen games aren't super complicated though.
Ouch, ouch. They've got some decent games.
Some.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they
I'm not saying they
were
don't have decent games. I'm just saying they're not
some of them.
GMT.
Well, yeah, they're not GMT, but okay, so Arc Nova is not GMT either.
No,
So, like,
that's why it
what
shouldn't be
was
3.7.
definitely not. What is the hell is that fucking colonizing Mars fucking game? Terraforming Mars. What is that one rated? Do you
Oh,
know?
good question. I don't know. I'm gonna
Because
look
they're
it up
probably
right now.
rated about the same.
So
If
you
they're
think
not,
that like having a bunch of cards is going to make it more complex because
yeah, because each card,
it's
basically,
an
cards are designed to change the rules, especially in those games.
Terraforming Mars is 3.25.
That's more accurate. It's also had longer time to settle. It's like a
Yeah.
house settling. It takes a while, but then it settles. So, I think maybe, or maybe everybody hates the scoring, which I love. Everyone's pissed off that the scoring's the way it is, and they like
What do you think
fucking
about the scoring? What do people hate about the scoring? I thought the scoring was fine.
on Arc Nova.
Oh, Ark Nova. I thought you were talking about Terraforming Mars. Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
Ark
yeah,
Nova.
Arc Nova because
Maybe
it's
that's it.
higher.
Maybe that's like just the negative score or whatever, or trying not to get a negative score. Maybe that's like, oh, this is so complex because I got minus 12.
Yeah, people don't like negative scores for some reason. Like to me,
Yeah,
it's all the same. If, as long as I win, that's all that matters. Or if I
yeah,
try to win, that's all that matters. I don't give a shit.
yeah. Same. And I remember I was playtesting with Vital and the scores were like up at 300 or something, and he was like, that's no good, that's too much, kind of thing. So there is like this weird perception. Like for me, it just doesn't really matter whether it's
Right,
high numbers or low numbers.
right. I prefer low numbers, but it doesn't matter. Like if
Apart
I'm
from
working on
like
something,
having to calculate stuff, right? I mean, that makes it harder
yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
calculating stuff, and but the window between, okay, so like if you're looking at bus, our scores are going to be low, and the beauty of that is the difference between first and
because we're
second.
bad at it.
You can see clearly the difference between first and second.
Right.
Like it's not like some games. Let me think. Like Terraforming Mars a little bit, but there's a lot of games where it doesn't matter how well you play. The difference between first and second is just the difference is random. Like it doesn't
Mm.
really matter. All that matters is somebody won, and I would say food chains like that. Like we
Yeah.
were early on. Like we cared how much money we were dealing with between first and second, but then after a while, you realize that every game is so different. All that matters is
Yeah.
who wins.
Yeah.
The rest, and it doesn't even matter second. The difference between second and fourth is almost the same. Just
Yeah.
who won, who viewed what was going on. There's rare cases where like the second player lost because they fucked up, but most cases are someone clearly dominated, and everybody
Yeah.
else. It doesn't matter if you sold one burger or 10. You all in the suck seat. Didn't matter.
Yeah. Someone figured it out. They got onto something good. Very
Yeah,
hard to catch up, I guess.
yeah. Um, oh, so your friend, how's the your friend Carrie and making a solo version of the game? I didn't want to. I don't want to say the game because
Oh.
in case there was a no or it's not going too good or whatever.
No, I think she just did it like super simple. She basically she's not a designer, obviously, but
She is now.
she is now she really liked the game, and so she decided to just really quickly mock up something. And I think that she just went, hey, I'm gonna try this. So she had like a timer for the game, which I think was like one of every factory or something. Like just
Hmm.
turn it over. Like there's no bot at all. It's just a timer. And then I think that the score that she had to get was the sum of uh she got the sum of something, like a sum of every like add up all the products in the game. There. She just chose like an arbitrary score
Hmm.
thing,
Hmm.
right? That was basically it. And she put it up on BGG and the designer forgotten his name. Said something like, "Oh, I've never tried this." So I think like maybe he might try it.
Oh,
Be cool
cool.
if he did. It'd be cool if he did, and
Yeah.
he
So then I
could
guess
suggest
since we can say the
maybe.
name of the game, then since it's already
Yeah,
on BG, since it's public
always get
information,
it wrong. Victory through
victory
industry.
through industry, right? Victory
Yeah,
through industry, I think.
yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
always
like
get it, I always get it wrong. The other day I was like victory through triumph. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Triumph and victory is the same thing. Where did I get that from?
yeah, the interesting thing was for me is I saw the game online and I knew that I would like it because of what it was representing and how easy the art was to see. And I was like, I got to get this game. And it was a French dude, and I'm like, hey man, what's the name of the game? He says, I don't even know. I got it in a math trade, and I don't know if it was that or he couldn't translate the name or I was misunderstanding his translation. Anyway, it took a while, and Chris Snyder is that one that actually told me the name of the game, which is cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I got it off
Now I
of
have it.
yeah, I got it off of a trade. I mean, I bought it off a dude in the old uh, geek market.
Marketplace. That doesn't
Yeah,
exist, right? It's gone now,
well,
right?
it'll be gone at the end of the month. So get all the shit you can get. And you know why BGG did that? Because
No.
now BGG's going to control the shipping.
Ah,
You have to
okay.
ship it to BGG, and then BGG will ship it to them. So talk
Oh,
about
no.
more fucking money for BGG.
Yeah, but not just that, but the waste of resources transporting it extra and
It's all about the money. It's all
yeah.
about the money. It's all crap. That's why so many people are disappointed. One of the reasons.
Well, I mean, like it doesn't really affect me because that's kind of more of an American thing anyway. Like we have our own, like in Australia, if we want to buy and sell, we have our own buy and sell groups that are like Facebook, and we just deal with that ourselves.
Yeah, but like BGG is such a like we have our own group to do that as well, but it's not as all
Oh
encompassing
yeah,
as
I would
BGG.
use, I would have liked to be a part of that, but
Yeah,
it's
we need
it's like when
Australian
you're in this,
BGG.
yeah, yeah, it's like really sad when you can basically any game that's out of print you could basically get, right? You could find someone in the US that has it. That's
Yeah,
not the case for Australia. It's not enough people.
yeah.
And there's not enough rare games that get out here to even have them in
I don't
circulating.
think it's the amount of people, and I don't think it's the enthusiasm. It's the cost. It's purely cost.
Yeah.
You guys
All
could
that
get
as well.
anything
Like
if you got the money.
yeah, I suppose I could just buy these things off of Americans and get them shipped out, but
Okay,
no.
so like, there's a Age of Steam map that I wanted. There was only a
Right.
hundred made, and I saw three head guys got it had it for trade on BGG. So I hit all three guys up. One dude in Switzerland's like, "Yes, I've got it. You can have it, but it's rare. So what do you want to give me for it?" So
Yeah.
like, I can get anything. Yes, am I willing to pay
Yeah.
for it? It was an insane amount. And I probably
Yeah.
still should have bought it, but I didn't buy it. So
Yeah.
you could have had access to the exact same thing, and it just cost you more.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's no access to it, but like for me, it's like, oh, why would I pay an extra $200 when these Americans are getting it for way cheaper? I don't want to do that.
Out of spite,
It's-
spite purchases. You can't have it. You can't have it,
Yeah,
Americans. I've
take
got
it
it
out of the
now.
country. I just want it to be
Well,
in
that's what you
Australia.
did through Victory Through Industry. I bought it
That's true.
through a guy, and then now you have it. But
But sniped it.
I didn't realize that I could buy it directly through the company. I need to check to
Oh,
make
okay.
sure it's still available, because I
Yeah,
wouldn't have
yeah,
bought it through somebody. I would have bought it through the company
yeah.
because the designer guy is a big part of that company. He might even own the company. I'm not sure.
Kind of random. Like I looked up that company, and they've got like a couple of board games or whatever, but they're a fabrics company. They do fabrics. Like this is
Oh, badass!
a odd combination though.
Their
So I
solo
think it must
game.
be a hobby of the guy that owns the fabric company or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. That one game, I think it's like
Leaving
something
Earth?
Horizons. Yeah, Leaving Earth. That game is supposed to be really good, really, really good for a solo game. But
Well, now
oof,
Carrie's desperate for that game because
really,
she loves Victory Through Industry. I haven't got it back. She took it.
oh, you haven't got it back, really? Well,
No,
that's
so
who
I
I'd be
sniped
playing
it
with
from
it if I.
you. It's
Yeah,
like it's karma. I sniped it from you. She sniped it from me.
that's surprising that she likes it because of there is a little bit of conflict in it, but not enough, I guess. It's not like
Yeah,
a
she can deal
hardcore,
with yeah, she can deal with that conflict. I think she just doesn't like area control. She gets freaked out by it.
specifically area control.
Yeah. And people coming towards her like, no,
Mm.
leave me alone. She's a turtle like you.
It's not because I don't like conflict. It's because
No.
I
You
do.
just think turtle strategy is good.
It depends on the game. Depends on the game.
It can be
Oh
good.
shit, Gabriel's online
Hey, she lives. Yes, I'm alive.
for a short amount of time. We'll
What do you
see.
mean?
Depends on how
What?
you
I
ask.
have a terminal illness? What's going on? Something I don't know?
I have control here. I'll just like, oh, we're having technical difficulties. No, Sarah, she's not alive anymore.
It's just boot me.
Yeah.
That's very nice. You wouldn't do that.
Well, I'm not known for being nice.
Okay, so
Okay.
talking about selling games and stuff and whatever. And I know that like both you and I at the moment we're basically not really buying games. And so and I
Are you
don't even know
calling
if I've
me
asked.
are you calling me a waste of space? I think you're calling me a
No.
waste of space because we're not buying games. We're not consumers like the rest of them. Okay,
That
go ahead.
doesn't mean we're not playing them. Um like what would it take for you to actually buy a game now? Like now that you're not just buying every now that you and I are like old veterans and don't buy every game we like, which ones do you buy?
Okay,
Because you
so this
bought
thing
like
of well,
Victory 3 Industry and that
you
was like
have to
totally
you have to be rare. Like I can't buy you at a store, or my friends have to like not know about you because I'll just tell them like, hey, but check out this game. It looks pretty cool, and then one of them might want to buy it.
I love how you're talking about the game like it's a person.
It
You
is.
have to be,
You have to
have
be
to be
rare.
rare.
You have to be a rare game. You have to.
This
Um,
is like a dating show. And this is
it's
your like
more of a.
check
It's okay. So we
one.
both play. We both were with Victory through Industry, so it's more like a swinging show.
You're just obsessed with swinging. This is like the third
Yeah, this is the
time
swinging
you've brought up.
episode. This episode will be called the swinging episode.
All right.
Board game swingers.
What do you
No, well, I think the
and
game has to
yeah,
be okay. So if it's rare, I won't tell my friends about it, so that I'll get it. They won't have it.
that is so funny.
Well, I don't want two people in the same game group to own the same rare game. Then it's like, we're diluting the market. I'd rather other people play the game, and also I want to have something rare.
Yeah, you
And
want to
it's
be like,
not
I
rare
have
if
it.
we all have it.
Yeah,
So
that's weird. Okay, so it has to be rare. Yep.
it has to be rare. It has to be complex, either in thought, like mentally. It has to. It can be an abstract that doesn't have complex rules, but it's got to be complex to me. Like to think
Mm-hmm.
about how to win, like complex strategy, or it can be complex in learning. But it can't be your run of the mill. Just this is a simple game.
Mm-hmm.
It also has to be a certain aesthetic. Like I don't buy games that are overly produced, like
Yep.
shit tons of art or dragon pictures or figurines, any of
Dragon
that shit.
pictures. Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
They can be dragon pictures. They can be like uh Mage Knight dragon. Doesn't even look
Mm,
like a dragon. He looks like a pterodactyl.
if you remember like the old original D&D monster manual, it could be like those
Yeah.
drawn dragons, but not like the
Yeah.
covers. Like the covers were the worst part because they were like all like done up and shit. I
Yeah.
like the I don't know, it's got to look like a garage thrash band of the 80s and shit. It's got to look
Yeah.
really crappy. The more crappy the better.
What
Crappy
if
game.
what if it is legit good? Like I'm assuming this is because you're like, oh, if it's overly produced, then there's nothing behind that.
Well, it's that and that other people are going to have it. Like I don't have to I'm not in a hurry to buy something that I'm going to find everywhere. I'll
In
just buy it
Lyndon's room.
eventually. Yeah, I'll go
Or
across and get it for Linden.
yeah, that makes
Or like
sense.
it's going to go on someone's going to have it for sale in a like when they're selling out of board games because they were way too into the hype. They burnt themselves out. Now they're selling their collection. They're going to get into I don't know paintball or something, and they want to sell all their games. They're going to have
Yeah.
that game that looked all fancy because it looked fancy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just think they're going to be more available. Anyway, so
Yeah.
what about you?
I'm a little bit the same, I guess. Like I've come to the realization that a lot of the games that I want to try, someone else will have.
Hmm.
Someone else will own it, and I just have to go to a game night and say, has anyone got this game? Can you bring it? And I'm comfortable with that. I don't have to own a game anymore. Whereas before, I'd have the opinion that if I want to play this game, I just want to have it so I can play it. If I have it, I can play it whenever I want. And I've let that go.
Right. I think that works in games that are, let's say, if you have a family and you all play games, or you legit need to have a copy around so that you and your significant others or whatever can play the games. Um, I feel like that for games that are, I would call them con games, like games to play at conventions. Like, I want to bring those games because I don't trust other people. Everyone else is going to bring the hype. So I want to bring these games that are really fun to play at cons that nobody remembers or nobody plays anymore.
Yeah.
If I think a game is in my top 25, I'll probably want to own it.
Yeah.
Just because you just never know how you piss off your friend. You might not have friends anymore. You have a copy.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah,
when
I
you
definitely never know. I'm pretty volatile, so I might be the one getting pissed off or
might
whatever.
be real sudden.
Yeah.
Whereas I think about that shit. I'm premeditated.
Um,
I know when it's gonna happen.
so you're all planning which friends you're gonna lose based on the game
Yeah.
collection they have.
Yeah, and then I need to make sure I buy pre-purchase stuff if I'm gonna piss off my friend.
Right. Or the really sly move would be to say, hey, you don't play that one game very often. Can I buy that off of you? And then you buy
Oh,
that
can I
off of
borrow
them,
it? Can I borrow it, and then you never have to.
and then like break off the friendship, and then say, what game? What you talking about?
You know what? I've had a couple of like weird moments where I've given away a game and then the friendship didn't happen anymore. Like the whatever happened, and so it was like a friendship ending thing.
You ended the friendship because of the game you gave them.
And granted, these were kind of crappy games, so it makes sense. It's
Um,
like here's a token to
See, I
say
thought you were
goodbye.
gonna go somewhere completely different with that. I thought it was gonna be like
Oh,
I gave a game, think investing in the friendship. Like no, you
no,
were you were trying to divest.
I'm trying to get rid of my shitty games and then get rid of my shitty friends at the same time.
all at the same time.
Yeah, killing two birds with one stone. No, it actually kind of was like that. I was a bit like, oh, I gave him that game, and then
They don't even
they
like
did
me
this.
anymore.
They don't like me anymore. Like that's rude. But then when I thought about it, I was like, oh well, I didn't want those games anyway. One of them was Sushi Go. No one needs
there,
that. No one
I
needs
would
that game.
agree, but there's people who like it.
Yeah.
I think you could find friends now if you had Sushi Go.
I
You could replace those friends.
can replace, but I don't have Sushi Go, so I can't replace my friends anymore.
Oh yeah, and the BGG market's going, so you're gonna have a lot of trouble getting Sushi Go. Your
Oh
whole
well,
friend prospect has just gone down the tubes
I have
just now.
to let it go. I think that like small games like that, I don't think about so much though. Like you were
Mm.
saying, the con games, like small games that you can bring out like that. Sure, I'll own them. I don't think about that too much. If a game's like $20, you know, obviously
What
not
about
going to put as much thought into it.
what about something rare? So let's say like okay, I say that Spielworks is rare, but
Yeah.
Spielworks is not as rare there as I would expect it to be. Spielworks is way more rare here in the U.S.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. We only have one supplier, and that's Tina at Behold Games. That's the only supplier we have.
Well, I guess you know the supplier, and that's the problem. That all you and
Uh,
your friends all know the supplier, so y'all all have Spielworks
so we
games.
all have, yeah, we all have a copy of the Spielberg games. Like, silly. Um, no, but yeah, I want to get those ones. I think because so I like all his tastes, and I think
Hmm.
he's kind of a little bit like me or like us in that he likes weird stuff, things are that are a bit different. So I tend
Hmm.
to like buy those games, and then if I really don't like them, if I don't want them, they're not that hard to sell, you know.
True.
So
True.
it's not that big a deal. They are expensive-ish here. That's the only problem, but they're not horribly expensive. They're not $300 splatter games.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can't bring myself to do.
I can with splatter games, but the market's becoming saturated with splatter games. So the problem is they don't have the same view that Uli does. Is like Uli doesn't print anymore. It's done. So that the value stays. Where splatter games, they don't feel that way. They're like, well, if we get a big enough order, we'll make it. So
Yeah.
then you might be stuck with, Roads and Boats or whatever. But they're great games, and I wouldn't want to resell any of those. Except there's a couple that I don't like, but for the most part, just re-gift
Yeah.
them, give them to somebody else because they'll like them.
No, I'm scared to do that now. It might end the friendship. Never giving anyone a game ever again. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how much are they there though? They're not $300, which is your.
Depends on the game, but no, they're not 300. Well, it depends. I don't know I don't know Australian U.S. conversion rates,
That
but
would be
like
like 200 maybe or something.
there's been splatter games for 200. Usually they're 100 right whenever they get printed. They're 100 plus shipping.
Right. Yeah.
But whenever they were getting rare, they went way up there in price.
Yeah.
And they're always big games, so the shipping sucks ass.
Yeah. Big heavy games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just really trying not to. I'm really trying not to buy more stuff.
Okay, so is there any game right now that you want to buy that you can
No.
think of?
But I
No?
was thinking about buying that Alma Mater game just because it hasn't happened yet. I haven't been able to play that thing since you told me about it, which was now
Over
a
a year.
year and something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About
so
a
I have
year.
considered that.
And none of your friends have it, right?
None of my friends have it.
And that's the bad part about that game is that it was put out at the wrong time. It
Yeah.
went up against I don't fuck that Praga. I don't know the whole fucking name of that game. I just call it Praga.
Praga Kaput Regni.
Yeah.
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 Oh, really? It was the same time as that. Okay.
Exact same
Interesting.
time. So
People went crazy for that. That's like hype train. Big
right,
time.
and that it's more punishing than that, and the economic system on it is very different. So you have to understand it to play it well.
Mm.
As far as the economics, like selling books and buying books and stuff, and I don't think people really dug that. It's too different.
Yeah.
Um, so it's that game suffered just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think if it would have been made a year earlier, maybe it would have gotten a little bit more love. But we're way into the nice Euros. We're in the nice Euro world, and if you don't have a nice
The
Euro,
age of the
you're
nice Euros.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the weird thing about games though. Like we complain about Euros being too nice and stuff like that, and we both prefer punishing games, I guess. But there's some that I do like that I realized because like when Concordia came out. I mean, I'm not like crazy on Concordia, but I do like it. I do think it's
Don't you
pretty
have a
cool.
Concordia tattoo?
Yeah, on my
That's how
butt.
much you love it. Yeah, you love that game.
Yeah. So, sometimes it can work. Like that,
Concordia's cool.
yeah. Like the resource management, even though you still get stuff, everyone gets stuff when you get resources. It's still hard. It's still
Right, but
tricky. I think the limiting thing, right, is your board. You can hardly hold
right.
anything.
And the other interesting part is that it did the Dutch auction correctly, where things get cheaper on the thing where you're getting your cards and stuff. I like the way that it did the Dutch auction because that was not huge at the time. But Concordia lives in your brain. Like when you're playing Concordia, you're like, let's say you're playing Praga. That game lives on the board and on your player board and on the actual board, where Concordia lives in your brain because you're trying to figure out how to do certain things, and it's simple enough where you can think of stuff. Where games like
Yeah. You can
Praga
think
are,
of 3
go ahead.
turns ahead. Like
Yeah,
you got to do that, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm going to do that card action where I get cards, but I'm not going to do it if I can only get one. I'm going to get
yeah.
a bunch,
It's
and then you got to think about that.
it's like the meeting of an abstract with a euro. You
Mm.
know, like if you look at like let's say the climbers abstract game, um, it lives in your brain. Like
Hmm.
if you try to play the game on the board, you're probably not going to do very well. You have to do a lot of thinking in that game, and it's simple enough for you to do the thinking. Where modern Euros are getting away from that as well. They want complexity on the board, but a complexity that is you building and building and building and going exponentially, like you're doing something all the time, making bigger stuff. Or if you
Hmm.
go back to like bus is like there's 5 actions. That's it. 5 actions. They're really simple, and it's just dick your opponents, and it all lives on your brain.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think I wonder if it's like a visual, because we were talking about how we learn things, and I said that it's not so much visual for me. I'm wondering if that's also like what you're saying affects games I choose to play. Like, because Praga Kaput Regni, like the board is so ridiculously like it looks complicated, even though it's not really, but it
yeah, it's not
does.
at all, but yeah, it looks complicated. Yeah,
It does. It looks complicated. That sort of puts me off, and it like puts me off about a lot of Mind Clash games as well. It's just like, no, this looks like there's too much board analyzing and not enough, like you said, living in the brain and just thinking about that stuff.
right. I think that's the cool part of still cool about Vital is that once you understand the game, it can live in your brain a little bit. There's
Mm.
enough there that you can live in your brain because usually like you'll see bonuses on the side. Once you learn to read the icons, it's like, oh, these are just bonuses that I'm going to try to add as this extra thing I do on a turn. Like I'm going to try to slip this little extra thing on there and I'm going to try to stack this thing in there and it
Yeah,
really
like
lives on
on
your brain.
Mars, on Mars was so easy to learn, I reckon, because
Yeah,
it was so simple to learn because everything was the same set of icons. And of course, like it doesn't hurt that, Tool did the graphic design stuff because
true.
I don't know, he always makes things look really clean, right?
True. Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Anyway, we talked for like way over half an hour, but
All right, so I guess we'll end it there if you want to. That's cool. Do you have anything to say about you and your bedroom games that you're
no, my stomach
trying to
started to
collect?
growl. I'm actually trying to get away from that subject, but you keep bringing it up. It just wants to talk
Good.
about bedroom
I want
games.
to know about all your bedroom games. Anyway,
I'll send you a photo of my bedroom games.
okay. I guess I'll end it here. Let me see how I turn this damn thing off.